And we're live. Do. Oh my god, that's almost begging to be a video. That'd be sad though. If I give it 6 more months, and then I can do like a friends video, except it's every time a member leaves DDM.
Oh,
It's just gonna be Julia holding her Sakurai. Stekla's gonna start her own not American, English group, non-Japanese speaker group.
well, because I actually wanted to talk about this, so let's go. That reminds me of something. So I
Sup,
would just,
sup Hendrix, sup Weave.
all right. They were waiting in line all day for the doors to open for the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Juno.
Today we plan on going over the March 4th pay-per-view, the finale of the Triangle Derby, a preview, if you will, with a bunch of other great matches, including title matches. But first, you just brought up Thekla making her own group. This was probably a few weeks ago. Kevin Kelly on New Japan, he unfortunately, didn't shout out his award for the Shimis, but he did say something that the United Kingdom, or no, what is it? United
Empire?
Empire. Yeah, United Empire was gonna possibly have a Stardom division.
Ooh.
And I did actually want to bring, if you were to think of some girls that were gonna like break away or start a faction, who do you think would be that, you know, start the United Empire Stardom division?
Waka Tsukiyama.
As long as she's not the leader this time.
Nah, she's gonna be the Gaijin breaker.
Bay Priestley coming back. Oh, Enigma's here, so he would actually have a take on that. Enigma showed up in chat, and I say if there was a Stardom part of the United Empire, who would it be?
He just did his Cinderella predictions video. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I wish I.
Shadow.
You know what I noticed about that motherfucker? You can listen to him on Talk for Glory. You can search it up on YouTube because it's good. And I joke when I say that motherfucker. It's like every time we record a show, I feel like his goes up because he knows by the time I edit it for podcast, it's going to be 2 weeks. I'm like, I'll get to it.
For what it's worth, we do our live streams first, and then he gets his stuff out at like a reasonable clip, and like, we'll get around to it.
Hey,
It's
he
actually
might be smart. He's using or not using the material of ours that doesn't work. He's like, well, that fell flat. uh, I I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that if for no other reason, like of the United Empire having a Stardom division, is that I want to see the creepy ass Great Khan uh, be in everyone's seconds, no matter who it is.
I think I heard an interview. I don't know, one of the guys, not your man crush Jeff Cobb, the other United Empire, and he was asking who the leader was, and like, well, we don't really have a leader, but if we did have a leader, and we do, it's Great Khan.
It's like because we're all sort of afraid of him, don't even like understand what he's saying, and we think he eats children.
I think no, I think it was like Osprey. He was then doing like an interview, like that guy's insane. Like if you see him, and like he'll just post like, "Hey, I'm in Vegas." It's like, don't you have a match in Japan tomorrow? And he'll just be groping two women's butts, and then he's like, consensually. Gotta throw that in there. I felt like going to France. You're on the pay per view in 12 hours. Where else are you gonna get a good baguette?
You literally have to quarantine for 11 of those hours.
It's fine as long as Peter's there.
All right.
Oh, did I ever tell? Because I know, like, I had a theory about Peter and Miho Abe. Like, Peter's probably like a super nice, sweet girl, and then Miho Abe's like really, really dirty, like off, like in their personal lives.
At least it seems that way according to social media, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was my theory just because I thought it would be funny. It's like, I bet Peter's, like, really sweet, and, like, I found, think her Instagram is just all her talking about, like, her family and, like, "Here's me with my puppies." And Miho Abe is just posting, like, "Yeah, here, buy my nudes." Like, wow.
I know there's also a world. Maybe she starts her own faction in Stardom, and Taichi comes out like holding her clothes.
Miho Abe, Miho Abe, pants rip would be great. I like when Tam in the crossover, Taichi got fired up and he tries to rip the pants off, and Tam goes to do it, and one of the two things happened. I don't remember which. Either she went to like rip off her pants that she wasn't wearing, and someone had to stop her, or if she looked down, I was like, "Oh, I don't have tearaway pants."
That was second only to filthy Tom Lawler ripping his shorts off, and all the girls closing their eyes except for Shuri. They're like, "Oh, God's eye." Got my
I wanted
God's
to
eye on
see it,
you.
but well, I was just keeping an eye out on Mayu to see if she covered Hanan's eyes, or maybe the other way around.
Well, they don't knock Rena's fake cigarette out of her mouth anymore, so who even knows?
I know. I saw that when she joined. Oh, yeah. She's not. What age are you? Can you smoke in Japan? Because they did stop knocking the fake cigarette out of her mouth,
Well, apparently, you can fake smoke at 16. So,
and the ref used to stomp it out. Make sure there's no fake smoking.
Empire, Miho. I had Stardom Card Party. I didn't want to make this like the Stardom Card Party podcast because like 3 shows ago I was like the Card Party didn't come out, and then 2 shows ago I was like, oh my god, the Card Party came out, and then last show I think we just spent a lot of time talking about the Card Party because it's so cool. But there was one thing I noticed about Stardom Card Party, and I'm not even going to talk about my collection or how high up on the Lady C ladder I am, or that I'm doing so good or anything like that. StardomFanMark.com. Look me up and throw a friend.
Your name is
Uh,
startupfanmark.com. You changed it.
oh no, just Stardom Fan Mark. Sorry.
I'm like,
Oh,
every time we talk, you buy a new website.
but what I found interesting in the card party, which actually sort of I think shows Stardom's frame of mind, is that if you were to go to like the card packs where you get the boosters, every faction, so you can buy by faction, right? Every
Mhm,
faction has their leader on it. I'm seeing Shuri, I'm seeing Tam Nakano, I see Julia, and so on. Utami, obviously, Mayu. Um,
right.
and then for Oedo Tai, the person selling the Oedo Tai starter pack, I never noticed it the whole time, is Starlight Kid. So Starlight Kid is the leader of Oedo Tai, like we always thought she should be.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if this tracks completely because it's got Mirai instead of Ami. If you're playing Stardom Card Party along with that, it's got like the faction leader is like, hey, this is a cool card, and then I assume it's like second in command. Shuri and Mirai, like, all right, I'll give you Mirai. She was the first. Am Nakano and Natsupoi, Julia and Himika, Starlight Kid and Saki Kashima. And then you got Utami, Hayashishita, and Miyu, and then Mayu and Saida. Oh, it doesn't track.
No, that is good. I am looking at the same thing. Although it should have been Mayu and Hazuki, but
Tommy. I think every pack should come with a new Tommy card.
Utami. I just actually, it's funny because I finally noticed that because I think for quite some time, the only reason we started liking Oedo time matches is when it became like Starlight and Momo joined, really, right? They're like the cool bad guys, and then of course you throw Kashima in there, and it's amazing. So Starlight being the advertisement for Oedo Tai, when I'd like it, I think interchangeably, it probably could have been Momo, also, but like, even on the packs,
We
so the
joined. You said about Momo, we didn't like her until she joined Oedo Tai. It would be like if you started watching Utami matches like the last year. I think we jumped on like we started watching Momo when she didn't win anything, and apparently right before we started watching, she had like every single record ever in Stardom.
Yeah.
Ooh, who will Waka join? Club Venus or the Neo Stardom Army? I think Waka is just gonna do what Waka wants to do. A cop
Y-
out. I don't know.
y- All I know is that if Waka joins the army, then I can't like Waka anymore.
Waka Mania went up and died.
Yeah, like
Crawled up into a wall.
I could do without her at that point. Any other old business? I was watching some of these and by some I mean there's still a bunch of weeks behind. But a couple things I found interesting on these regular Stardom shows with the Triangle Derby is, well, one, since the Himika reveal that she's leaving, boy, do even Julie, like
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
putting her over pretty good. Like
Good.
she's
How do you
having
spell
fun on her way
reveal?
out. So yeah, they've been putting Himika over. That's been cute. There's one thing that sort of upset me. I forgot exactly which show it was. It'd be easy to look up, but it was young OED was going against Team Meltier with Asaki, and Natsupoi rolled through the Kishikashi. Like I actually, as my bullet points is pretty much my only bullet points for the month was Natsupoi rolled through Kishikashi. Fuck that shit. That's like all my notes for the month. That's the only reason I want the podcast. So like that should have been the name of the show. The first time I see the Kishikashi fail, fuck you, Natsupoi.
What's up?
It, it,
Sorry. What's up, Fire Trainer? I think when did we go live? Like 11? Like only an hour passed when we said we were going to. I still like though that no, I don't think I've ever seen anyone kick out of a Kishikashi. I've seen people break it up. I've seen people roll through it.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, she didn't kick out, thankfully, so that's still protected. But it was almost like it was almost a one count, and then it was like reversed into a Natsupoi like pin. And
But I like Natsupoi.
fuck that shit. Oh, no
Poi
way,
poi.
dude. Kashima is much greater than Natsupoi. Sort of chaptering this. Fuck that
Do we
shit.
think he? We don't really talk about Natsupoi a lot because she joined the
Cause,
dark side.
cause,
Um, do you do you think she's a Pokemon? Have I said that before? Or I'm pretty sure she's a Pokemon.
also, you're pretty sure you made a whole video about
Did I?
it.
I check that out. I don't remember.
Might have been part of the love story.
Oh yeah, part of it. She's a Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon?
uh, Pretty much, unless something ends up in Showcase stealing the show, um,
Oh,
which
I
I'm
thought you meant
sure.
just steal. I thought you just meant steal it because I'm paying for Showcase.
No, when we steal
Oh, you
Showcase
would
and
never say
maybe
that.
watch it.
You would never say to steal Showcase.
Well, it's the only way you can watch DJ Bouncy Bounce.
That is true. Yeah, they cut. You know what? Fuck Showcase because they cut out the most important part because of DJ Bouncy Bounce. In the last Showcase, they had a garbage like shampoo and conditioner match, and Lady C won, and I wanted to like throw my TV in the trash. But then I see on the YouTube later that she won because it was like a sponsored match. Like she won like the Mr. Scholl's like Head and Shoulders like award, and they did her all up nice. They got her hair and makeup. It was basically like she won a mini Cinderella tournament, and I didn't get to see that shit because the copyrights they weren't allowed to show it on Stardom World because the DJ jumped up and down a lot.
We're all adults here.
DJ copyrights.
That's actually pretty funny too. How did they get away with that? Like the stuff we were watching, like she's literally just unabashedly like mixing Queen songs with the Natsupoi song, and it's like it's unbelievable.
And then she actually got better at being a DJ. And she, you know what she did is when the wrestler would come out, she would just play their theme song.
Yeah, yeah, God forbid, right? Uh, well, the only reason I even brought that up is one,
We're all adults
I,
here.
we're all adults here, and I don't know. Completely skipped the last one, but when you went over. this show, I think the one that's actually being recorded as or probably happened today as
Good
we
boy.
record, there was a couple matches on there that sounded good. Now we've fallen for this before, so well, I mean we'll see what happens. But what I was gonna say was, uh, unless something out of Showcase ends up being match of the month, I think our match of February is gonna end up being the Nania Roulette. Is that what we called it?
Uh, yeah, I liked that match was really good, and then it was so good. Like we're gonna end up talking about the next pay per view, which is the finals of the Triangle Derby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on that pay per view, if you go and like we like to like look at what the card is, and we'd always get confused, like, whoa, Hanan's gonna be in the main event because you have to scroll down. Like they start with the pre-show,
Yeah.
but I'm starting to think that you watch the shows backwards because the Naniwa Roulette was yeah by far like match of the month.
Yeah, and probably not only because it was a gimmick match, but it was a good gimmick match. There was a good the best part about it being quick time limits is that the parts that were sort of shitty, like, were in and out. And the right woman won with, which was Kashima. So, like and then there was some good matchups in there. We had a little Mayu versus Tam action and stuff like that. It ended up being really good.
Yeah, I liked who did Mayu? I don't remember the whole roulette, but Mayu starts it off and how did I know that Mayu is gonna get fucked? Like with she came up with the idea and she's the first one. How does she get so unlucky in a random roulette? Then she goes
I
up
know to be
against
number 1.
yeah, I think she goes up against Waka and she taps her out in like a minute and a half. She's awesome, and then she dragon suplex Miyu through the mat in like another minute. Momokogo like so Mayu's on a tear, and then Tam Nakano has to get in the ring and ruin everything, and they both Mayu should have thought of like a better rule. Like if you go to the time limit, it should be that like a champion's advantage. Like if you I don't know.
No, I
I
like
don't
that.
want
I
to
know where you're
complain
coming
about the
from there.
best match.
If
Yeah,
you were
like
the first
if
if you were already in the ring and it was in so you're already at a disadvantage. If you get to the draw, you should be the one staying. I like that. See, keep that for next year, Mayu.
yeah. And then a bunch of other stuff happened, and Saki Kashima, like the hero of our story, wins with a Kishikashi, and she wants to challenge for the high speed because I can't think of a better high speed champion than Saki Kashima.
Other than
15
maybe Starlight.
seconds, 15 seconds, Kashi in and out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she's not a high speed wrestler. She means high speed matches. Like, no, I don't want to be out here for more than a minute. If my match is longer than my entrance, this is not okay. I actually really like the way you recapped the roulette is perfect because that's probably how it was. It was like the first 30 minutes was awesome, and then some stuff happened, and then the finish was awesome. Well done, buddy. And it is funny how quick this month went. I don't know, time flies when you're having fun. I feel like we're about to preview the March 4th pay-per-view when this is the first time we actually touched on the February 4th pay-per-view. And we're not going to go through the whole thing. It was worth talking about the roulette and I don't know. A whole lot of triangle stuff in between. The triangle stuff they're all good and they're all entertaining. It's just a lot of the same. I don't like 7 up matches, and you basically sit there and watch the matchups that you like. I don't know. My biggest takeaway is Natsupoi rolled through the Kishikashi. Fuck that, and that everyone's loving some Himika.
I think the biggest takeaway from the Triangle Derby is that they figured out the right stars team. You know, they only got one win. It's against Waka, but I will stand by that Hanan, Omokogo, and Mayu Utani is the stars team. They need to roll that out every single show.
I know how the hell do they end up losing to everybody? I don't get it.
For a couple draws. There's probably a couple draws in there.
No, they got 2 points, which is this is a good time to if you wanna go into the pay-per-view, this is a good time to, talk about the sort of final standings or the standings going into the semifinals and the finals here.
Yeah.
Well, let's, do you have the I have it, I could go through it if you want. The, Triangle Derby, how it sort of finished up, the
Ah,
rankings. We don't have to go through everything, but we'll talk about the semifinals in a second. But you were touching on
yeah.
H&M's, which was
Uh-huh.
the good team of Hanan Mayu, and they ended up with 2 points. The only team they beat was the Lollipop Gang. They lost to everybody else. That seems insane.
It's better than losing to the Lollipop Guild.
Ugh. Who else? Middle of the pack, we have Unique Glare,
Hey, middle
classmates. They
middle
ended
of the
up with
pack.
6 points.
Oh, because you already said H&M's have 2 point. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. I
The
wasn't
way the
gonna
points,
reveal.
and then yeah, and then it works out with with 2 points or 6 points. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna reveal the semis because I just when I just saw the how it shaped up, it actually pissed me off. Uh, and this is red we're talking about. With 9 points because of a draw against God's Eye. Ugh.
So Club
Um,
Venus is out.
yeah, Club Venus is has finishes the Derby with 8 points. They're out. Queen's Quest is out with 9 points, which lets the Cosmic Angels of
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Meltier and
whoa, whoa,
Azaki.
whoa. Sorry, I got like a major gripe with this right now. Major gripe. I'm looking at the standings. They're already advertising. What block is it? Yeah, Shuri's team. Sorry, wrong block. Oh, right block. I didn't know the way it was set up was weird. They're already advertising is in the semifinals. The Cosmic Angels team of Saki, Natsupoi, and Tam versus the Seven Up losers. Queen's Quest is at 9 points, so they would be tied with Seven Up if they get a win and Seven Up gets a loss. So what's that bullshit?
They're not doing any more. It's like over after last weekend. They're
Oh,
not
that's their
doing
last
any.
match.
Yeah, they're not doing any more matches. So even if like
Okay, that
Seven
makes
Up
sense.
loses,
I
yeah, there's
thought they
no
were doing
more.
the deal where they do like the final night of matches. I'm like, well, that's that bullshit.
I know, like
Like
they
that's
did for like Tag League, and
yeah.
really keep you guessing.
I was
Yeah,
very confused. I'm like, wait a minute, that math doesn't add up. They fucked up.
yeah. So on the red, making the semifinals is the Cosmic Angels and Seven Up. Uh, Blue is still. I don't know. No, I guess Blue's also not surprising. Lollipop didn't win. Uh, My Himi with C, Team Lady C, if you will, doubled the points of Mayu Iwatani's team. That's right. Lady C doubled Mayu Iwatani.
Hmm.
6 points.
That
I
thing
can't read
makes,
that one.
but nothing makes me happier than I don't know. I just like when it's like when Himika. I like when people enjoy stuff like Himika liking the bear pose. I find funny. I like that even though they've only won one match, like they can't help but say their team name. Like we're H&M's Des. Like it's not a very clever name, but I like it.
No, it's fun.
It's just stupid stars fun. Oh, can I go back to the card party real quick? Because this is like it's not something that I keep forgetting to say. When you're like trading in the Stardom card party, I noticed that it's almost like the factions. Um, like the people who collect the certain cards, kind of almost like a little personality test. Like if you're trying to collect stars cards, you're like, hey, you don't even need to trade people your doubles. You're like, hey, can I have your 4-star Mayu for a 1-star Koguma? And they're like, yeah, sure. I only got the one, but you can have it. That's just how stars fans are. You go to Queen's Quest and you're like, hey, like I have like these 6 Utamis but 0 Lady C's, and you have 45 Lady C's and 0 Utamis. That seems like a fair trade. And then Queen's Quest fans are like, "Fuck you! Like, did you pull it yourself? Like, stop talking to me, loser."
Oh no.
Yeah. And then Oedo Tai people who collect Oedo Tai cards are really about Oedo Tai. And then Cosmic Angels fans, all they collect is Natsupoi and Tam Nakanos, and the rest of the cards like they couldn't give a fuck about. And then somewhere along the line, I end up being like top 50 Ami players. So send me your Amis.
Oh, that's that's funny. Some of that's true. It's like I can't get there's certain cards I can't get for anything. I can't get my Himmies and their old cards. No one wants you can tell who the favorites are. I accidentally ended up with like 7 Fukigans, because no one gives a shit about those.
I just thought it was funny. It kind of worked out like a little personality test. Like Stars fans will help you finish your collection. Queen's Quest fans are like, "Fuck you!" Like, do it yourself. Oedo Tai fans are like, "Yeah, we'll help you collect other Oedo Tais, but like not anyone else." And then the Cosmic Angels fans are like, "Do you have more Tam cards? I like Tam cards. Do you have Tam cards?"
That's funny. And that's the personality test that's built into Stardom Card Party.
And the best part is, in like 3 months, when they seem to want to break up all the good factions and create like sub factions, there's going to be more card packs to buy.
I know they're rushing the cards out too every 2 weeks. As soon as I get a complete set, I get all happy for a week or for a day or 2, and then they release a new set. I'm like, "Oh, no." So speaking of TAM cards, um, Blue Block, Triangle Derby, who is Gold Ship?
I don't know.
Who the fuck was Gold Ship? Somebody help us out here.
Yeah, the team names. Like,
Silly names. Well, Rebel and Enemy, Starlight and Starlight's friend and Starlight's friend's friend, they ended up with 8 points. They were 1 win away from making the finals.
I want to know who Gold Ship is.
And the super producer Enigma chimes in. Of course, it was Momo Kashima and Natsuka Toro, also with 8
Oh,
points, sitting there 1 win away from making the finals. But instead,
that
we have
explains why I didn't know the names. Because when they did the press conference, they just decided in rock paper scissors Saki would be the leader. It's like, oh, I'll think of a cool name later. That is a pretty boss name.
the winners, tied at 10 points of the blue block, making it to the semifinals, is God's Eye and the current Artist of Stardom champions, Prominence.
Is it gonna bother you that even if Seven Up loses, it's forever gonna be on the record that they will have, because we assume they're gonna make the finals, right? And they're just gonna beat the Cosmic Angels team. I was gonna say my Cosmic Angels team because it has Saki on it, but we're just assuming they make the finals, right?
Which one?
The Seven Up team is gonna beat Cosmic Angels to make. They're like, I don't know if they'll win the tournament, but they're gonna be in the finals.
I am so upset to assume that 7 Up wins the tournament. I hate that.
Well, I was gonna say, even if they lose, this will piss you off more. Every time someone, like, let's say Stardom gets really big, right? And they keep, like, WWE, like, if there's ever like a Stardom network, you never know. There's like fucking Crackle's a thing. Um, it'll forever be in the history books that in the inaugural Triangle Derby, Seven Up had the most points. They'll never erase that.
Yuck.
Like, no one,
And
because
they
next
actually
year,
did with 11. So,
if
yeah.
they win next year, who gives a fuck? No one ever remembers the second winner of a thing.
You know who they lost to? I was on their the only team they lost to actually was Starlight and Starlight's friend and Starlight's friend's friend, or Starlight's and a whole bunch of her friends, Rebel and
Yes.
Enemy.
Wait. They lost to Starlight and Starlight's friend, and then Starlight's friend's friend, and Starlight's friend's friend's friends.
No, I got tongue tied. But karma and other karma and not karma.
Oh, so Starlight and her friend won. They beat him. That's the only loss. Nice.
No, I'm still confusing you. Whoever is rebel and enemy.
Oh,
The
Starlight's
friends,
friend's
the
friend.
friends' friends.
Yeah. Okay,
Friends'
that makes
friends.
sense.
And
Well,
then
at
they
least
tied
Starlight,
with God's Eye. So I could actually see
at least
God's
Starlight won the
Eye
press conference.
and 7 Up going for it. Starlight is the winner.
In the
Uh,
press conference, she just like, "Hey, so we're the youngest team," and then Starlight's friend was like acting really cute, which is weird because I'm pretty sure I have a hunch that her and Karma are the same people, and Karma likes to burn people alive. She's like, "We like to be young and keep it fun and hang out and yeah, be young and have fun." And I'm like,
you
"Oh,
like to bring up South Park. She definitely gives you those Butters vibes where there's some super villain deep down inside.
chaos! I
She's
am gonna
Commander Chaos.
I stole the head of the from the town statue. Simpsons did it.
That's good.
Starlight did it.
All right. So
Starlight ever
this
tried to set someone on fire?
she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to stoop down to that level.
Because I think that would be funny. Like Starlight's friend wins the high speed belt. Starlight did it.
Oh, yeah, it was Ram and Friends beat 7 Up. Thanks, New Age Weeb. Starlight's friend, Ram
Well, I
and
assume.
friends.
Okay,
I assume
yeah,
that they're all. I just assume they're all Starlight's friends.
yeah. I assumed that. So
Ram and
Starlight's
friend.
friend, Starlight's friend, the one who I know Karma's name. So Starlight's friend, right? Then her friend was probably. I'm sure her and Ram are probably friends.
It seems that they should be.
And then Ram's so Starlight's friend's friend and friends.
You know what?
It'd be
Watching
so much
this,
easier just to learn their names at this point.
I don't know. It's we got a gimmick. Might as well keep going with it. Rebel and Enemy. That team I actually liked a lot more than I thought going into it. I liked them a lot. Them, Venus, like those are the teams I thought were just going to sort of be annoying, and they were fantastic. I'm actually upset Club Venus isn't in the semifinals. Um, but in the semifinals again, in the red block is Cosmic Angel 7 Up, and the blue block is God's Eye and Prominence. And what they're doing is sort of interesting. They're having so in the semifinals, 7 Up is going against Prominence, so it's a blue matchup versus a red matchup, and then God's Eye is going against Cosmic Angels. So they're sort of going cross conference. So you know what I mean? So it seems weird. Like so the finals could be like both red teams or both blue teams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but scrolling down a little bit, so you see where the semifinals are. So we have 7 Up versus Prominence. So we have the tag team champions in the semifinals going up against the artist champions, right?
Yeah.
So who wins this? Which one of these two go to the finals?
The tag
Like,
champs or the artist champs, you'd think the artist champs have the advantage, but there's no light tubes around.
yeah, but they made it this far. They have
I don't
the
even remember a
second
single
highest.
one of their matches.
That's because you skipped them all.
That's true.
No, well, it's because I don't know. It was the Triangle Derby. It was just another tournament. They're all good matches, but nothing really stands out other
I
than
like the
Lady C
other
getting wins.
I like the other semi-final. I wish that was just the main event. I can get down
Yeah.
with that.
Well, before we, I guess, yeah, what you actually think and what you would like. The
If you're not down
other
with that.
semifinal match is God's Eye versus Meltier with Asaki, the Cosmic Angels team, and that is yeah, that's the that should be the main event. And forget the other one, but unfortunately, whoever wins this probably has to lose to the other team.
If you're not down with that, Stardom's got 3 words for you. You were supposed to finish it, but I could see like you're like, no, we don't even want to joke about than a winning the whole tournament. I feel yeah.
I think the finals end up being God's Eye versus 7 Up, and God's Eye wins. That's what I'm saying.
I like it. I also like Saki winning. What do they even win? Like, I'm pissed off about this Triangle Derby. It's like it's not for the title. I don't even know what they win. This is the honor of being the Triangle Derbyists,
Yeah, they'll get a title shot. That's just how it
the, tr-
works.
the Triangle Derbyist finalists.
All right, so who's winning this thing in your eyes? God's Eye?
Saki, just Saki.
Just
Somehow just Saki.
So Meltier with a Saki wins, and Saki takes the mic to close the show and says, "No, you guys get out. I'm done dancing. I'm done with this Meltier
Well, she likes to dance.
bullshit." Well,
I don't know
no,
if
she likes the paycheck.
she likes to dance.
I've never seen a faker smile.
She's not smiling though.
She does that thing where she opens her mouth and is like she's trying to smile, but she's holding back the tears. That will be the end of the Triangle Derby. We're gonna stream for a little bit longer, but I want to keep the podcast concise. We have a little bit longer. Uh, what do you think about Azumi versus Starlight Kid? The Forever Foes? Is that what they're called? The
Oh,
Forever Foes that are fighting for the second time in 2 years?
the Forever Foes, Starlight. They're called Forever Foes. I only remember the one time they fought.
Well, it was good, and Starlight accidentally lost. So this is basically the
Because
chance to
the
right.
fucking prick ref did a fast count.
I know. So this is the chance
Unless
to right the ship.
unless it's, unless Starlight, I remember her tapping out. So like I don't even know what the ref was doing counting a pin.
Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way. I think we agree with the chat right now, and we all like unanimously believe that Starlight Kid wins this match. Next, white belt. Oh my god, I've never been so happy to see a white belt match because Suzuki is so cool. Pretty cool, actually. And then she is going up against the greatest white belt champion of all time in Saya Kamatani.
Hmm. The greatest. I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, it's a fact, though.
Is it?
She's got all the belts or all the
Can't.
records.
Yeah, but Utami's never had an opportunity to hold the white belt.
Well, yeah. So she can't be the best white belt champion.
Well, well, it's not really fair if you know, like, you never gave her a shot.
Yeah, but I'm also not the. You can't say that Michael Jordan was the best basketball player because you never got a shot to play in the NBA.
But Michael Jordan's not Utami.
Well, you got me there.
It's funny that you were talking about Utami, like the case for Utami being better white belt champion than the longest reigning white belt champion of all time. And like, well,
No, I
she's
was talking about
and
Saya
then
Kamatani being the longest the rating
I
champion of
say
all time.
Mayu.
No, I think you said Utami.
No, I said Utami at first. I was making the case for Utami over the greatest white belt champ of all time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I meant to say at least. Um, and then you brought up Michael Jordan. I do think there's a video that I did where the thumbnail is Michael Jordan with Saya Kamatani's face poorly cropped onto it.
that might have been
So
your short when they did that basketball thing. That was funny.
yeah, oh maybe. Um, I think Kazuki loses. She's not wearing. If she was wearing white, she'd have a shot.
That's my problem with this match right here is that Hazuki is wearing the color of the belt she wants. So I'm assuming she's starting with the white belt, and then when she wins the red belt in December, she just throws the white belt in the trash. So I got Hazuki winning this thing all day long. That'll happen. God damn it. Enigma said two things I agree with him today. Hanan for the Cinderella and Azumi's better than Sasha Banks. But you know what? Who the hell isn't?
It's not really. It's not really a high bar to trip over.
All right, so we're putting Hazuki over Saya Kamatani. That's going to be a good effing semi main event match, right?
Hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the show.
Well, there's a red belt match, but Julia's just going to keep being fed wins over people that don't matter. So, yeah, I guess that is pretty much the show. Unless there's anything else you want to say, I'll close out the podcast and then we can fall down some kind of live stream rabbit hole if you want.
I liked. Oh, there's also the pre-show. We didn't talk about Utami Hayashishida and Lady C beating Starlight's friend's friend and another one of Starlight's friends.
I didn't even know that was a thing. What do we have?
Utami, I know because they buried it underneath. Like you think they'd put it at the top, but they put like the pre-show stuff. You got Utami and Lady C. They were gonna get a win. Who cares who they're fighting? And then there's Hina, Rina, and Miyu in a three-way. So that's just made for Rina to get a win. That's fun. There's also Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May, and Waka Tsukiyama versus Micah, Sakurai, and Thekla. And there's a 10-person tag match. All of Stars versus like all of Oedo Tai.
Jesus, the opening, the pregame show sounds better. Like sounds like it could be its own pay per view. I want to watch that more.
Sounds like it just sounds like a regular Stardom show.
We just need more Utami and Lady C in tag matches. All right, they need to work their way up and become the tag team champions, like we called last year. That was supposed to happen last year. It didn't
they're
quite
just
happen. I think
they're
it'll
just
happen.
getting the reps in.
Yeah, we were a year ahead. We were planning a year ahead.
Yeah.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to the Stardom Fan Podcast. I'm Mark, and with Juno, is there anything you'd like to say?
Onbanwa?
Konbanwa, you can support us on StardomFan.com, and it has links to our coffee.com/StardomFan. You could be our first Patreon. You can go to StardomFan.com, and there's like pictures for some of the stuff for the podcast, like Juno getting a selfie following his dreams at an NXT show with a world champion. There's a tour posters page that I'm actually sort of I
Oh, I
think
didn't
is
know that was
pretty
on there.
cool. You can like download all the pictures for like all the tour shows. That's a neat one. What else do we have over there? The gift page, that's always fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah. The gift page just got. I got plenty of gifts too. I should start uploading them.
Mina-san. Goodbye, everybody.